Hello everyone and welcome to round 2 of Excalibur's FFA map reviews. This isn't like an official thing, so that's why it doesn't sound like one. Today we're going to be doing a double feature on two of Rick's maps. One is Hipparchus Land. I hope I said that right. And then we're going to re-review the current version of Aneurism. Now, for this map, this is going to be pretty short and sweet because most of the problems it has are consistent throughout the map. It's not as problematic in some ways as Aneurism, and in other ways it's more problematic. So let's jump right in. The first thing that you can see, and you guys can probably notice it here, is that some extended terrain was attempted, but was not attempted very well. We have a, high sand to high dirt transition with no blending whatsoever, incredibly blocky. I mean, even the sand is blocky. I mean, this could all be smoothed out in 2 minutes, but it looks like nobody wanted to make the effort. The second thing we see is a lot of straight lines, and you're going to see this throughout the map, because everything is just straight lines everywhere. So if we start with the red main here, number one, we've got a reasonably good mineral line setup. Correct number of minerals, distribution's good, all that. Gases on the left and top are where you want them to be. Good stuff like that. However, we have this might be the largest main entrance I have ever seen. Um, so that's kind of a problem. Um, I don't know that this main would be very comfortable to play in because your main entrance is this long. I mean, you might want to put your tech over here, but oh wait, the entrance is right there. So there's a problem. And then this giant entrance comes down into a double natural, which I guess you could do a double natural. I mean, that does reinforce a lot of turtling, and then you've got this island right up here. And I just don't know if that's a setup that's going to create interesting gameplay. It seems like you could just sit back on 4 expos and chill. Then you've got some more blocky shit here. You've got some blocky doodads over here. We have where the nat comes out into this, sort of pre-middle area. And this is just, what is this? I'm sorry, but it's the sandy sunken stuff, sandy sunken pit, excuse me, um, with no blending, no ramps whatsoever, right back up into regular sand dunes. You've got these side areas where you could go completely around the supposed entrance. The entrance is huge, which I guess it's a double net. Maybe that's okay. I don't know. Um, and then another double expansion, and this placement right here, this could be done way better. Like, that's just, I don't even know what we're doing there. So, if you look at it, and you say, okay, what are we going for? You're gonna kinda end up confused. Probably as confused as I am right now going through this. So we will pass this with more blocky stuff, some of the pit doodads thrown in, just extremely blocky. There's no reason for this. It does not have to be this way. We have, another main right over here, so it seems like they're pretty close, and with all these double expos, I'm not sure what the intended expo path is, if there even is one. Um, I think this island is actually tankable from just about every direction. I guess if something's tankable everywhere, it's as balanced as if it was not tankable anywhere. Um, I guess that works. And then, oh, I was waiting for us to come to these bridges. Oh my God, there's quite a few of these on the map. Um, and this is just deplorable. Look, I love extended terrain. It's one of my favorite things about mapping. If you've seen my map Rise of Empires, you know that I love to get crazy with the tile editing. But what what is this? Just oh, big harsh sand line right into the friggin' dirt, right into the bridge. And I mean the bridge edges are messed up. It's even blocky within the bridge itself, and there's just no reason for that. Um, Again, we've got an island tankable from everywhere, but this one's low ground, so that's like even easier to tank for if you're in this main over here. It's also double gas and has quite a few minerals in it actually. Um, I I don't think this is going to mine correctly because of how spread the minerals are, but I'd have to test it to be sure, but I'm pretty sure. Again, we've got, this crazy super blocky bridge. Everything, again, is continuously super wide. And this is what I meant about this map having kind of just the same issue everywhere. It's just got these super wide, square, straight line everything. Everything's blocky and I don't know why. This is, the placement here is garbage. Um, More of this bridge thing. Um, I, it's hard to critique this because it's like, you try and understand what someone was going for, even if they don't do it correctly. Um, and I mean, like this placement is kind of beat, like spreading them out like that. The workers are gonna have pathing issues. Um, So I don't know that I can say too much more about this map. I mean, I think it's pretty obvious what the issues are because they're kind of glaring and everything is just huge and overdone. It's almost like, you got done with the mains and you're like, I don't know what to do. I know I want more expos, but I don't know how to form, you know, terrain and things in a map. So I'm just gonna make everything straight lines and just put expos everywhere. That seems to be the sort of common theme of the map. Um, Again, Rick's signature R in the center with a gazillion critters, which I mean, this is fine. This isn't a serious expo. I can appreciate this aesthetically, signature wise, but yeah. And I guess that's kind of it. I mean, I think I've touched on, the same problems that run rampant, no matter where you look on this map. So let's jump into Aneurism Part 2 then. So we're going to hop over, and boom, here we go. So this is the edited version of Aneurism, and you can see my other review of this map. And Rick has made quite a few improvements, and we can see them starting right here where the other video started. The unwalkable, unbuildable doodads have been cleared out of the main. The expos, a lot of them have been rearranged. The one thing I want to mention here, he kept the super wide bridges, which are much too wide for having these both as the main and net entrances being super wide. And then when you do a natural like this, where the CC Nexus hatchery placement is far off from the actual entrance, that creates a bit of a disadvantage for Zerg because they have to creep their way all the way over here to defend it, whereas a Protoss or a Terran can just, wall this up, cannon it, bunker it, whatever it is they need to do. Um, so this is better, and the mineral lines are better, but still not great. Um, so again, this looks reasonably well. Some anti-float minerals, I appreciate that. The train wreck of the Basilica Catwalk that was here before has been reorganized into two expos. This one not placed so smartly. This one's pretty good though. Some real blockiness in the ramps that I don't think is really necessary. I think these, at least the forward-facing ones, could be done better. The backwards ones, I will give you. Backwards Basilica ramps are hard to do properly. I'm not going to dispute that. That is a tough thing to do. But, if you want to do it, if that's something you want as part of your map, you deal with it. Again, still a lot of straight lines. I would appreciate a little more variation in the coastlines. Then I guess this one's a double gas. It's hard to consider things like that. Like I can see doing double gases in like mid side expos where like two main expo paths meet. Assuming you've got your mains arranged that way, or in the center where it's a risk versus reward thing. Um, Again, super wide bridges. Again, out of the way, Zerg kind of gets fucked here. Um, we can see on the broken bridge, the sprite count has been greatly reduced. The entire map contains only 55 sprites now, but I think he's also deleted some doodads and taken some sprites off of doodads, which you can see up here on this one. We got some blocky edges here too. Um, and again, like this kind of placement is better, but it's still not optimal. I'm not going to complain about sprite usage when it's 50 sprites, and I do still think aesthetically, like, this is a creative thing, and I appreciate that. This main is so tiny compared to some of the other ones. God, this player's going to be so cramped. And again, super wide bridges. More double gas expos. I guess if there's an equal number of double gas expos, I guess that can be done alright. You got more blocky doodads there. Anti-float minerals, which are good. I mean, this placement is kind of zonky. The gas is randomly over here as sort of like a gas-only expo, kind of, which I don't really support doing. You've got all this blockiness here, and I'm pretty sure we're going to double check, but I'm pretty sure that's unbuildable. Oh no, he just spammed a single tile. Not an unbuildable tile, he just spammed it. And then we've got this here. I guess he was trying to make a design, but it's super blocky. I don't get it. Um, so it's just, and I mean, look at the main difference here. Look at the size of this main compared to this one over here. Like, it's night and day. This could be a natural by comparison. And then, double connection. I guess that's a cool way to do the third. I don't know. And then, I mean, he gets 2 nats, a third, and then he connects to everybody else. So, I mean, that'd be a good position to play in. You got a good main. I mean, yeah, everything's super wide, but so is everything else on the map. So I'd want this main because I get 1 expo, 2 expo, 3 expos before there's a ground route to me. Like, that's good stuff. Um, Here we still have the same issues along the edges where we don't have anything blocking that being tankable, so I can just drop tanks here or over here and fuck up this guy's day. That's really not fair to them to design their main that way. And then it's got this out-of-the-way natural, and then this straight path up to here. And, another gas-only expo. But the thing I wanted to mention with this, one, the straight lines, which I've said that quite a lot about Rick's maps, is the straight lines. Gotta work on curvature. It's one of the first things you learn melee mapping, and it's important to the design. This bottom left player, his route, no matter what he does, is going to take him to the tankability of this expo, which is the natural of this player over here. Now this placement is garbage, by the way. I guess he plans for a CC in each spot, but that's just it. It adds nothing to gameplay. It's not defensible. You can't say, well, it's cool because, and then try and finish that sentence with something that's defensible. There isn't. We went over this in the last review over what is defensible and what is not. And again, there are stylistic things that you can defend. Like this right here, stylistically, is cool as shit. You've got, the zigzagging edge bridge, which is not terribly hard to do because you're just repeating the same blend over and over. And, it's a little blocky, it's not perfect. But, this is cool, but there's no reason for this. This doesn't add anything to gameplay, that placement. And neither do all the straight lines everywhere, but I digress. So we've got, the center, double expo, triple expo actually, again, which has been cleaned up some since the last time. We have this main, which I think that gas is tankable from across the way. I'm pretty sure. Again, he's got this super wide main opening. Um, I don't understand. Rick, you know how to do proper mineral formations. You do. You look at this here, and that's done fine, and then you look at this up here, and it's almost like it's two different people making the map, right? And then, oh, there's the Double Gas Expo here on an island by itself. Can you even put a command center over there? Yeah, I guess you can. Okay. Um, and it's both maps have glaring issues, and it's at this point it's not anything that Rick doesn't know. Rick can make properly formed terrain instead of straight lines. He chooses not to. Rick can make proper mineral lines. He chooses not to. Rick knows roughly what how to construct a map, and he chooses not to. Um, it's it's all fine and dandy to say, well, I like my map because, and I'm glad you like your work. I like my work, maybe not all the time. I especially don't like my old work, and that's fine for you to like it. But it's about what's defensible. It's about how you can say, this is objectively a good map because, and have defensible statements to back that up. The min lines are proper, the distribution of resources is proper, the expo layout makes sense, it's a comfortable map to play on, the entrances to the mains and naturals make sense for them being mains and naturals. The terrain formations are done in such a way that they don't look forced and weird. I mean, if you want to do a lot of straight lines, you should do a space map. And I think you'd probably really like doing a space map, Rick. I think that goes into a lot of the things you like. So if you wanted to make, these ramp up, ramp down straight line things and have, just a lot of straight lines in the decoration and in the formation of the terrain, space lends really well to that, and I think you might want to try that out. I would like to see, instead of working on either of these two maps, do something new. Try to think about what makes sense as you're constructing it. And if you do a mineral line and you look at it and you know it doesn't look right, because I know you can tell the difference, just delete it, take 2 minutes, redo it, and I would love for my next review to be, look at this great map Rick made. I really like what he did here. I like what he was thinking here. I'd really like to do that. That would be great. So, I guess I've said everything I need to say about these maps. And I feel like I've spent a lot of time repeating myself, and I don't know that this is going to be of too much value, but I guess this has been another Excalibur Melee map review, FFA map review, whatever it's going to be, and I will catch you guys in the next free-for-all.